Changing the subject to the World Cup, are you thinking about it right now? There's no other way, right?
Of course, you got to think about it. There's no doubt about it. There's not much time before we start playing in the league, and we're also in the semifinals of the Champions League. You really can't think about the World Cup, but I know that we're very close to a very important event. Our hopes are very high for this World Cup, and we really want to play it and be really confident.
Do you ever feel in those moments when you think about the World Cup, when you think about it the same way you do when you play a tournament with Barcelona, for example, when you're trying to win absolutely everything? Now you spend some time with the Argentine national team. Do you really feel like they want to win and they're capable of doing it? When you're in the qualifiers with your team, do you feel like they know they can win?
I think we're really confident in ourselves. There are many doubts during the World Cup qualifiers because of our results, and we barely qualified as well. But that made us stronger. That unified everyone on the team, and it gave us more desire to win than before. Our hopes are high, and I think this team believes that we can do it. We have absolutely incredible players. It's a great team, and obviously we have some things that we need to improve on. But in time, we will be able to do it based on practice prior to the World Cup. We're going to correct a lot of things so we can be in the best shape possible. I really have a lot of confidence in this team.
Does it bother you or does it make you upset when everyone compares you to Maradona?
Nah, it doesn't bother me. I feel bad for Diego.
Because you have to see him more now.
I always tell him that there's only going to be one Diego. Nobody will ever be like him. I just try to work as hard as I can and improve my own game. It doesn't bother me when I'm compared to Maradona, but I don't think it's fair for Diego when they say I try to be like him. I'm me, and I try to do the best that I possibly can.
It's inevitable, though, because comparisons can be harmful, though.
Well, I think the other day I heard Diego say something that makes a lot of sense, and knowing Diego, I'm sure that he has already told you that he wrote his own story. He was without a doubt the best player, at least for my generation, without a doubt, but you have to write your own story. I think it's great that someone like Maradona says that to you. I think those were great words of advice and great wisdom. And I told you off the air that you really do deserve it. I really liked it when you mentioned Pablo Aimar. I've always said that I admire you a lot, even though, I mean, I myself had a great career as well. I admire you, though, and not just because of what you do on the pitch, but I really admire how you handle this lifestyle at such a young age. Just a while ago, everyone downstairs was screaming for you, and I know that you probably can't even go out on the streets normally, but you're always so calm about it. You're so happy about everything, about your situation, and it's nice to see that you're a family guy, that you play PlayStation. I think that's such a great example for anyone watching this. I told you that I have kids your age, and I want them to see that. Sometimes it's about your attitude and not just your talent, what you do on the pitch.
Well, we talked about it before, but I think you're remembered more by who you were as a person. People are going to value you more for that than how you were as a footballer. It's just the way I think and the way I see things.
Who would you like to play with? Who's that one player that makes you think that you can have fun with and be really successful? You mentioned Aimar, but that's impossible. But from this generation, which player would you like to have alongside at Barcelona, that one player that would make you unstoppable?
I don't know. Like I said before, I'm just lucky to be surrounded by such awesome players that I have right now on my team. So no matter what direction I look, everyone's very talented, and I really can't ask for more than what I have on my team. I think that they've helped my game and they've helped me grow. I'm successful thanks to them and as well as Barcelona. They bring out the best in me on the field, and that's why I play so well.
This is Africa.
Do you think Argentina in this World Cup will play collectively based on the individual talent on the squad? I think with the talent that Argentina has, they can play similarly to the way Barcelona does, or maybe even the way that Spain does, which is quick touches, fast strategy all over the pitch. Do you think they can achieve that, at least in the time the team will have to prepare before the World Cup in South Africa? What future do you think this team has?
I hope so. I think that that's what this team's looking for, because it's definitely what we need. I think that defensively we're doing well, but we had a hard time holding on to possession and creating scoring opportunities. But like you said, I think we have enough individual talent to hold on to the ball and play like we do here at Barcelona, or even like the Spanish national team to a degree. I think that what we have to accomplish is that before the World Cup. It'll be great if we can achieve that, because if we do, we can end up doing a lot more than expected.
Do you think Argentina needs a specific result before the start of the World Cup, or to have a good debut match to maybe relieve some of the pressure that comes inherent with the shirt? Do you think Argentina has maybe not gotten over the fact that didn't quite live up to many people's expectations in previous matches? Not playing up to what people expected out of the team?
Yeah, I think that the team still has that pressure from back in the qualifiers, and we are needed to get a good result in order to race all of that. I mean, it doesn't allow us to play normally. Part of the fact was that the win against Germany was great, because we beat a very important team. Even we beat a World Cup contender, for that matter. But if you start to think about how we analyze it, it's beyond the result. We still need to grow as a team and find a collective game that's going to help us improve gradually throughout the tournament. That's what's going to be vital for us to even be a contender for the World Cup title.
You're aware that everyone in the world will be watching you during the World Cup. I remember how much Enzo suffered during the 1986 World Cup with regards of how rough it was.
It'll be like that for him wherever he plays.
So how do you prepare to deal with rough play and all the fouls you're going to suffer in the World Cup?
I try and not think about that. And I don't think about the fouls I'll receive in any game. I'm going to play and see how the match plays out. I try to do my best with Barcelona as well as with the national team. I never back down, or I always do what I do is try to play hard. So I mean, I really can't think about that.
Well, back then also the rules were different. For example, there was no last man rule. The rules really weren't there to protect players. So now televisions help out a lot more as well. There are about 20 cameras at every stadium capturing everything, putting a little more pressure on the referees and the match officials. So you can tell right away when there's hard contact, but it will always happen for any defender covering you, like the guys from Arsenal that are still thinking about you today. It's easy to get frustrated during a match, and of course it will happen in the World Cup as well, aside from Argentina though. Do you think maybe Spain is the best national team in terms of talent throughout the entire squad? For this World Cup at least?
I think so. I mean, based on the game, Spain is the best team right now. After that, you have to consider England being just as good. Brazil is always good. Brazil's Brazil. I personally believe that those three teams are the best heading into the World Cup right now.
Are you dreaming of the World Cup, literally dreaming when you go to bed about the World Cup? Do you dream of lifting the trophy at the end? Does it happen a lot, or don't you dream about it at all?
Of course, it's inevitable for anyone to dream about being a world champion. Everyone knows it's difficult. It's not impossible now. It would be really great to cap off a win like that, especially with everything we went through with the Argentine national team.
Do you worry about the other teams in Argentina's group?
Of course it interests me, because I mean, you have to respect every single opponent. That's the most important thing. We know there aren't easy games in the World Cup, but I believe that we have to worry more about us than the rivals. If we're doing well and we're achieving our goals, then we don't have to worry about anyone else.
This is Africa.